This is the story of Pwyll, the Prince of Dyved, the land of Cymru, Wales. Well, this one day Prince Pwyll of Dyved was out hunting with his hounds when they came upon Glen Keith in a great vast forest. And he was charging ahead with his hounds when they heard a baying of loud, strange dogs he's never heard before. So Pwyll and his hounds rushed off to the woods when they saw these white hounds with glowing ears like embers, red embers. And there they were surrounding a great stag they had just killed. And Pwyll had his dogs chase away the strange white hounds with the glowing ears like embers. And just as soon as he did that, up came a man on a tall bay horse. He was a big burly beard, and he said in a deep voice, "Sir, I will not greet you, because you have scared away my hounds from their prey." And Pwyll hung down his head in shame, and "I'm sorry, my lord. I'm sorry. I did not know that this was your kill. These dogs of yours, they frightened me and my hounds." "Ah, very well. Now who are you, my lord?" "I am Pwyll, Prince of Dyved." "Ah, that you are. And I am Around, the king of the otherworld. And I think I know of a way that you can make up for your hounds scaring away their prey. For you see, in otherworld there's a great tyrant I am ever at odds with. His name is King Havgan, and he's very cruel." "But my lord, can you just you must be pretty powerful yourself. Have you never uh raised an army and—" "No, I have," said King Havgan. "I have raised an army, but every time I beat him in battle, every time I strike him more than once, he rises up 10 times stronger than he was before, and that in that way he gets stronger and stronger. So now you see the predicament I'm in, Pwyll." But what was your plan to make up for my hounds scaring away your prey?" "This is what I propose to do. I shall take my magic and put on a guise to make me look as you and you as me, and nobody in both of our kingdoms will know the difference. And you shall rule for a time otherworld, while I shall rule Dyved." "Very well, my lord, if it will make up for what my hounds did scaring away your prey." And so Araun did just that. And so both of them went to each other's kingdoms, and they ruled there for many months. And Pwyll, as Araun, was out hunting one day in Otherworld, when he came upon a great ford. And on the other side of the ford was a man dressed in armor, with a great lance and a shield. And he called out, "Araun! Araun, I know it's you! I am King Havgan! I challenge you to a duel. If I win, I shall claim your kingdom, all of it. If I lose, well, your kingdom remains intact. What say you?" And Pwyll looked at King Havgan, and he said, "Very well, we shall duel." And so the two of them faced off, Pwyll as a rowan on one side, and Havgan on the other side of the ford. And so they charged each other down with their lances keen, until Pwyll's lance struck right through the shield of King Havgan, and it shattered right into his chest, ah! knocking him to the ground. And Havgan was there on the ground, ah, wounded, and Pwyll, as a rowan, got off his steed and waded through the ford, for it was not very deep, not very rapid. And so he got to the other side. He drew his sword out and held it to Havgan's chest, and he cried, "Now your tyranny is over, and my realm is free at last." Ah, ah, go ahead, go ahead, says Havgan. Strike me, make an end of me, put me out of my misery. Please, I beg you. But Pwyll thought to himself and said to himself, "No, I must remember the words of our own. If I strike him more than once, he shall rise 10 times stronger than he was before. No, I must not do this." And so, in a very bold voice, he says to Havgan, "No, no, you shall die this day. I will not fool for that trick. Too many times you fooled me in the past." He sheaths his sword, and Havgan just fades away. His body just blows away on the wind. And when he got back to the palace that day in Otherworld, everyone rejoiced. They cried, "Around! Our savior! Our savior has returned!" Because as soon as the tyrant Havgan was killed, the people knew, in the air of Otherworld, that a great tyrant has been lifted from the realm. And they had much rejoicing that day. And so Pwyll, as Around, continued to rule. The people were happier with their lord more than ever. And one fine day, Pwyll felt inclined to go hunting again. And he was on his steed with his hounds, galloping through the forest, till he started to see a glen that looked very familiar. So, this reminds me, he thought to himself, this reminds me of Glen Keith back home. But no. But then he continued onwards, till finally he was overtaken by hounds that looked an awful lot like his own hounds. So, "Where am I? Where am I?" "You are here!" And he heard a voice. It was that of Around. "I salute thee. We are back in your world, Pwyll, and back in Dyved, back in Glen Keith. And I thank you for having defeated King Havgan, more than words can tell. You don't know how cruel he's been to me, how trick he's been. And I thank you for finally defeated him." And so Around used his magic and lifted the guys from Pwyll and himself. And as a gift, Around bestowed to Pwyll many fine new hounds that were always very strong and fleet of foot, but not the white ones with the glowing ears that like embers, for Pwyll would not have welcomed their company at all. And that was the story of Pwyll and the King of Otherworld.